What's up, guys? Commander Bloodgoat here, and today I'm ranking my top 5 most underrated Andor characters. I love Andor. It's a great show. I'd highly recommend it. This video does have spoilers, so just watch out for that. And so, without further ado, let's get into it.
Death Star, what a prescient turn of phrase.
All right, at number 5, I have Major Leo Partagas. Leo Partagas, or Partagas, is the head of the ISB that we see in Andor. A lot of people think I guess he's like the head of ISB headquarters at Coruscant, because Colonel Euron is the head of the ISB. We do actually see him in Andor, which is pretty cool because we love him a lot in the Clone Wars. But anyways, the reason why Partagas is one of the most underrated characters is probably because of what he contributes to the story. Like, he helped set up Dedra Meero for her success later on, and then her failure, which I love so much because I hate Dedra. Like, that's why she's a good villain, and that's why I hate her. Like, that's a good thing. I'm not even the villain. Yeah. Anyways, so Partagas helps set up Dedra with giving her Gorman, and basically helping her get the Gorman massacre going, help basically get the rebellion set in motion, so that when she thinks she won, she really lost. If that makes any sense. It's pretty symbolic and pretty cool, which I love Andor does so well. And again, why it's another great show that please watch it. Another thing is that we see in the show that Krennic and Partagas are best friends, apparently, which I love Krennic, so. And Partagas basically takes his own life at the end because he couldn't stop the rebellion, and since he's the highest up, he's held responsible for that because, well, yeah, that's how the Empire works. And Krennic basically goes like, I can't protect you anymore, Leo, which I think is symbolic and shows their friendship, because we see Krennic throughout the whole series being mean to everybody, stepping over people, and we finally get to see him respect somebody like Partagas, which I think is so interesting and cool, which is why I think Partagas is number 5 on my top 5 most underrated characters list of Andor. Now, number 1 is the most underrated, but yeah. Alright, let's move on. Wait, hold on, actually, let's not move on. I want to share this meme real quick of what I saw online of Partagas. I'm gonna play it right now.
People have to know what's going on.
Alright, at number 4 for the most underrated characters in Andor, I of course have Melshi. Now, if you don't know Melshi, he's in Rogue One originally, and I do like he's an okay character in Rogue One. He doesn't have many screen time. But I love how Tony Gilroy included Melshi in Andor. It connects so well, because we finally understand why Cassian has such a good relation with Melshi in Rogue One. So when Cassian goes to Narcan 5, he meets Melshi, his fellow inmate. That they escape together, then they part separate ways. But then later on in the series, around season 2, after the Gorman Massacre, Cassian meets Melshi again, but in the form of the rebellion in Yavin, which I think is so cool, and it makes everything so well rounded. Like Tony Gilroy really did such a good job with this, and the little details that probably some normal Star Wars viewers wouldn't even get. Like, I didn't realize until after the Princess Healing. Like, wait, oh my god, that was Melshi. That's crazy. And then we get to see this whole journey that Cassian and Melshi take together at the end of the series, which just makes Melshi's death so much sadder in Rogue One, but also their relationship in Rogue One so much stronger. And we get to understand that because of Tony Gilroy and how he wrote Andor. Like, it's actually a masterclass. It's so beautiful. Like, Oh my god, I can't describe it honestly. Like, holy props to Tony Gilroy. I wish he would work on more Star Wars, but I get it. Like, he's a famous writer, he does more stuff, but this is what Star Wars needed. Like, such a small character can turn into such a big one, and that's why he's number 4 on my most underrated list of Andor. All right, let's move on to the next one.
I thought that's what we were fighting for.
All right, at number 3, I have none other than Clea. Clea is Luthen's assistant in Andor. They met since Luthen since she was a kid, and Luthen was a sergeant in the Empire. We get to see some flashbacks and stuff. It was really cool. I'm glad they included those, by the way. Like, it makes so much better. I'm not gonna include Luthen around this list only because Luthen Rail, he's a rated character, so. Like, I know a lot of people say it's underrated, but then again, a lot of people say it's overrated. Like, I think he's just a perfect character, and I don't need to explain him. Anyways, no, enough about Luthen. Clea. Clea is a really good character. I'm gonna explain something real quick. So, Cassian sees bear with me. Cassian sees a Force healer, and she says he's a messenger. And we get to see this theme play out all the way through Rogue One. But I want to highlight here is that Claire is also a messenger. Lonnie Young, we'll explain him later. Lonnie tells the information about the Death Star to Luthen. Luthen goes to Claire. Claire goes to Cassian. We can currently see this theme of messenger throughout Andor. And Claire is just another big part of that. Claire had to kill Luthen. Basically a father-daughter relationship here, which is so sad to see her do because they've known each other since she was like 9. Like, it's crazy to think about. Like, imagine you had to kill your own dad, basically. But you know it's for the greater good. And I know you have to pass that message along. And you just have to keep pushing forward. It's for the rebellion. Which, again, helps Cassian with his role as the messenger later on about the Death Star plans. Because, again, we see Clea giving the message about the Death Star to Cassian. And since she can't deliver the message, she has to give it to Cassian, who then in turn delivers the message, which therefore strengthens his character as the messenger, which makes Clea's character all the more stronger, and that's why she is number 3 on the most underrated Andor list. Now I'm done explaining. Next up, please.
And what do you sacrifice?
Alright, at number 2, we just explained with Clea, I have, of course, Lonnie Young. If you don't know Lonnie Young, he basically works for Luthen's network. And yeah, sorry. Oh my god, I'm blanking. Okay. He basically works for Luthen's thing. He works at the ISB. He has a family. He has a wife and a daughter. Again, family, nice. He works for the ISB. He doesn't like the ISB though. He doesn't like the Empire, so of course he feeds them information. Again, when we talk about the messenger, Lonnie finds out about the Death Star and everything because of Dead Jamiro. And so basically what happens is that Lonnie finds the Death Star, he finds Galen Erso, he finds the building weapon, not what type of weapon, just a weapon. I'm just saying Death Star because it's easier. And he tells Luthen, and he was like, where are we going? Luthen's like, Yavin, we'll be safe there. Unfortunately, Luthen kills Lonnie because he's a liability. And when the information just learned, you have to be very careful with that. But again, it's also so sad because we know Lonnie has a wife and a daughter, and he's been hiding in the ISB for who got like something 5, 6 years, 7 years, around there. And we know what his sacrifice is because we see earlier in the show Luthen's monologue of sacrifice and then his monologue of sacrifice. And I sort of wish Lonnie lived to see the light of day, but then again, at Andor, no characters are safe except for Cassian and Melshi. So, and Kid too, so, and Krennic, but. So, yeah. Again, it's just crazy because we want to see him succeed, but we also know at the same time, again, it's part of the rebellion, it's part of the greater good. And so, even though you might have to step on a few stones on the way to make it up there, but you still got to keep going. You make sacrifices like with Clea, with Luthen, now with Lonnie, and Yeah, it's just crazy, man. Alright, moving up to number 1.
Cassian. Casa.
Alright, that is right. At number 1, I have B2EMO. Hear me out. He is the most underrated character. Hear me out. B2MO is Cassian's droid. He's been with Cassian since he was 6 or 9. I don't know. This Cassian just says 6 in Rogue One movies. It's like, whatever. And so, it's really sad whenever I think about B2MO because constantly throughout the show, he's like, where's Cassian? Cassian. He just wants to be with Cassian. And it's so tragic because Cassian's moving on. He's away. And then he's only with Marva. And then, unfortunately, Marva dies. And B2MO is suddenly all alone. He doesn't know where Cassian is. Marva's gone. Clem has been gone. And yeah, it makes you feel for him, man. It's so sad. Like, he's like a real droid with empathy. I know a lot of people R2D2, but he's like a better R2D2, if that makes sense. Anyways, it's just sad because then he delivers Marva's speech with Brasso. I should also talk about Brasso, but and yeah, they deliver the speech. It's beautiful. And then later on, luckily he gets to see Cassian again, but not for long. And then they go to Minorau, where they hide out from the Empire. And then Cassian comes back to get them, but the Empire's there, so he has to run away. And the last time he saw B2, is what we confer, was probably like a month ago. And you realize that's the only time he's gonna see B2MO again. Because constantly throughout that episode too, he's like, is Cassian coming back? Where is Cassian? Because that's the only family he has left. And he misses Cassian. That he's known him for forever. And B2 loves Cassian in a way, if that makes sense. And then, of course, we know Cassian unfortunately dies in Rogue One. And it's just sad seeing through the whole series. We don't get to see him. We don't see him to the very end, which I think is so symbolic with Bix. But it's just sad. Like, he's never going to see Cassian again. That's all he ever wanted. To see Cassian, be with Marva, be with Clem. But because of the rebellion and stuff, yeah, it's been again about this sacrifice. It's just sad, man. Such a tragic character. That's why he's my number 1 underrated character. I love him, B2MO, so much. I've been wanting to talk about this for a while. So. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed that, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and please help out the channel because we are so close to 1,000 subscribers. Trust. Anyways, yeah, outro.